Are institutional investors prepared for the Great Reset? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this interesting article asking the question, are institutional investors prepared for the Great Reset? And this is from the SWFI, so let's have a look. A contingency of policymakers, near monopolistic tech companies and large corporate CEOs are pushing for the Great Reset agenda. According to the World Economic Forum's page on the Great Reset, it says, there is an urgent need for global stakeholders to cooperate in simultaneously managing the direct consequences of the COVID-19 crisis. Never waste an opportunity, everyone. To improve the state of the world. The World Economic Forum is starting the Great Reset initiative. Am I just too cynical and old when people say these things like, we'll improve, it'll be a better world, it'll be a utopia, come together, comrade, cast off the chains. The highly anticipated Davos event will be held on the 25th of January to the 29th of January 2021. The WEF is an influential conference of business leaders, activists, policymakers, institutional investors, and corporate CEOs, and a completely unelected body of the global elite, also known as the people that know better than us stupid little plebs. In many instances, the spread of the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, upended markets, shifted political alliances, crushed small businesses, while expanding the balance sheet of Western central banks. Well, it wasn't actually the spread of the virus, it was government-imposed lockdowns to try and mitigate the impact of the virus. That's what has destroyed small business. We just have to remember that, everyone. Furthermore, because honestly, the scariest thing about all of this is if these rolling lockdowns start becoming a go-to response to any virus outbreak. That's going to be a risk that everyone in business will have to manage. You'll have to design your business around that potentiality happening. Furthermore, the crisis has financially benefited large tech companies like Amazon and large retailers versus restaurateurs, the travel industry, smaller retail operations, and the live entertainment industry. Will the WEF's vision of the Great Reset happen, or at least parts in the next decade? The Great Reset of capitalism. It would be great. It would really be great if we could actually have a freer market and a freer society with more individual focus and more respect for the liberties of citizens and people. Wouldn't that be great? That's not the reset they're talking about, though. Because, I mean, you're seeing here, we're getting more and more the larger corporates. They're the ones that have the influence. They're the ones that have the money. They're the ones that have the ears. They're the ones that can implement policy that benefit them. On June 3rd, 2020, post on COVID actions, Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, put out a statement saying COVID-19 lockdowns must be gradually easing, or maybe gradually easing, but anxiety about the world's social and economic prospects is only intensifying. There is good reason to worry. A sharp economic downturn has already begun, and we could be facing the worst depression since the 1930s. But while this outcome is likely, it is not unavoidable. To achieve, see, this is the thing. A sharp downturn, some destruction in the market, some revaluation of certain assets that may be inflated, like housing for one, here in Australia, would be an opportunity for a younger generation coming up. But here we have the old guard stepping in and taking away those opportunities. That's what happens in a free market. There is some creative destruction. That's the sad part of reality, everyone. It's a part of life. Have we gotten so sheltered that we've forgotten that? It feels like it. Even our recessions now are snowflake recessions. To achieve a better outcome, the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our society and economies, from education to social contracts. See, this is the thing. Everyone's saying we have a social contract. That's why you pay taxes. And the social contractor comes. I keep thinking of the cartoons where the social contractor comes and just screws you over. A contract is an agreement between two parties. There needs to be intent to enter a contract, and there needs to be, well, the mental capacity to make a decision and to agree to it. None of us ever did when we were born into it. Right now, future generations are going to bear a burden to prop up the economy today. Will they reap the benefits of it, or will they just be stuck with the burden? There's the question. Will in 20 years' time, once housing has just inflated even more, and you've got younger Australians just struggling to get into the housing market with even less opportunity for advanced manufacturing or advanced scientific careers in our country, will they appreciate it? Every country from the United States to China must participate, and every industry from oil and gas to tech must be transformed. In short, we need a great reset of capitalism. So decarbonisation. With the COVID national lockdowns, the price of oil stumbled even further. Thus, institutional investors heavily allocated to oil, companies like Chevron, ExxonMobil or BP, have faced hits in their equity portfolios. While listed large US and select China tech companies witnessed market cap growth during 2020, the Net Zero Asset Owner Alliance, a United Nations-convened alliance of large institutional investors, was established in 2019. Now, why is the United Nations doing that? Why is the United Nations, maybe it's naive, why are they taking political positions on these things? Shouldn't they be completely neutral? The alliance was initiated by Allianz, Cas de Despot, here we go. My French is, we'll just say CDPQ, Forum Group, Pensions Denmark, Swiss Re. Since then, Alecta, AMF, Nord Life and Pensions, Storebrand and Zurich have joined as founding members. Well, no, if you've got people starting and then anyway, it doesn't matter. Net zero carbon emissions will be a major theme being prodded by both policymakers and corporate CEOs. This trend is already happening on the institutional investor front, on investors plowing more capital into renewables such as wind, solar, hydrogen, and battery storage. Here's the thing. You've got to realize all of these productions, these renewable energy sources, have embodied energy. And that embodied energy has a carbon footprint. Now, the issue is you want the lifespan of the renewable technology to be to have significant time frame to ensure that the difference in carbon that it would be giving off in its production from conventional energy production will be significant enough to offset the difference that has resulted from the carbon generated to produce all of these things. You've got to think, solar panels, they're all mined, everyone. It's not just sand off the beach. They have to mine the minerals to produce that. There's a lot of embodied energy in there, and that gives off carbon. So there's no such thing as a zero carbon asset at all. Even hydrogen, the production of hydrogen, still, that is a carbon-intense, energy-intense process, depending on how you use it. These things are not clean. What about the battery storage? We're limited to chemistry and physics with how effective they can make batteries. Even if you look at Tesla's new battery week, all these super improved batteries, they're just making them bigger. The energy density for the batteries hasn't really advanced that much. We're reaching the limit of that technology. So, and then all of the resources you put into these things, they have to be mined, they have to be shipped, they've got embodied energy as well. Whereas you could get a off-the-shelf gas turbine, jet engine, and just simply produce power and energy from gas that we have in tremendous abundance. So you've got to think, okay, sure, we're emitting carbon for the production of that engine, that turbine, and the burning of the gas, but is that, given the lifespan of that infrastructure, is that going to be better in the entire lifespan of that technology as opposed to replacing wind several times or solar several times? Because when you take down one of those wind turbines, you can't recycle it. But these things are never looked at. I'm starting to realize that the concept of embodied energy and embodied carbon footprint isn't really common knowledge. So people are thinking that they're doing good for the environment when they could actually be doing bad, when the net effect of what they're spending money on could be a negative. But you don't feel good doing that, do you? People feel like they're doing something here because they're worried about a climate catastrophe, which is such a slow-moving target. By the time we've pissed away money on this stuff, we might have other technologies to deal with it. And I'm fairly certain humanity will survive. We've got a pretty good track record. So it doesn't keep me up at night. Furthermore, electric vehicles were a popular sub-industry in 2020, witnessing rising share prices of Tesla Inc. Okay, share prices, I think we can all agree, are completely detached from reality. Sovereign funds have already been major backers of EV. For example, Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund is a major financial investor in Lucid Motors, while Mabadullah Investment Company invests in Zheping Motors. Travel and digital IDs. There is a mad scramble to build apps in regards to vaccine passports. Already governments and tech companies have been using contact tracing apps and programs. Apple and Google partnered to create a Bluetooth-based system to notify users if they've been exposed to the pandemic. Just think, this can be the first step until people are notified when you've been exposed to someone that has inappropriate political views. You think I'm kidding? That's the inevitable, that's the danger of this type of stuff. You know, we're just creating, well, we're going back to the caste system, aren't we? The digital untouchables. According to the WF website, Denmark is creating a digital COVID-19 vaccine passport to be rolled out in the first few months of 2021. Vaccine documentation could be a requirement for people to enter a country via aeroplanes. In 2020, the WHO disclosed it was working on an e-vaccine certificate, a small yellow card, or digital version of the yellow vaccine booklets used in many countries. Show us your papers. Show us your papers. However, there is pushback among privacy advocates on a digital ID system and putting medical records in the hands of government authorities and employees. So, there we have it. What do you think, everyone? What do you think? It will certainly be an interesting future with the Great Reset. Are these things we are to be worried about? I mean, here's the issue. You have people that go to these type of events, they feel important, they feel special. You have civil servants that go to these type of events that feel important, that feel special. Then, what they'll do is, even our politicians, they will lean more towards what they're encouraged to do here than to actually represent their people. It really is out of fashion, isn't it, to represent your constituents? It's so old school. We couldn't dare do that. We know better. Let's reset capitalism and build for a better future. When capitalism is the one thing that has improved more people's lives around the entire world than anything else. And if you don't realize that, well, frankly, you've got a lot to learn. There are going to be some people who think, you know, socialism is good, all these other proven, failed political systems. And their confirmation bias won't let them see reality. Start by the TED Talk by Hans Rosling. That'd be a good starting point. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I cobbled together here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.